Hello and welcome to the Mushroom Murder Trial podcast. My name is Lisa. I'm in Melbourne today to catch you up on what happened yesterday in Erin Patterson's plea hearing. Her reality inside prison is absolutely bleak. She's confined to a small cell for 23 hours a day. Her only chance for conversation comes via a mesh fence connecting her to one of Australia's most infamous female killers. In the Supreme Court of Victoria yesterday, the grim nature of her circumstances was spelt out in detail. She also faced her victims' loved ones, including the man she tried to kill, Pastor Ian Wilkinson, during this plea hearing. We were meant to be in court today, but it's been adjourned until 2 weeks' time where Erin will be finally sentenced. So I suppose that is some closure for the families, let's hope. The prosecutor, Jane Warren, urged the court to impose the maximum penalty with a non-parole period on the 50-year-old murderer. Quote, "Your Honour should reach the conclusion that because of the seriousness of the offences, that it would be inappropriate to fix a non-parole period," she said. She quoted Justice Lex Lazary, who sentenced the R-word and murderer Michael Catamone to life without a non-parole period in 2017. If you're wondering why I didn't say the R-word there, that's not me, that's YouTube. Sometimes a crime is so horrific, so cruel, and so callous that a step towards mercy seems too difficult to make. Justice Lazary was quoted as saying, Ms. Warren said the crimes committed by Patterson also were so horrific, so cruel, and so callous that she was not deserving of mercy. I agree that the offending is horrendous, Justice Christopher Beale said. The court heard Patterson had been transferred many times in custody between the Gordon and the Murray protection units since she was arrested in November 2023. Assistant Prisoners Commissioner Jennifer Hosking told the court via a video link that the killer had spent nearly all her time locked away. Ms. Hosking said Patterson had been taken to the protection unit due to, quote, safety concerns, mainly due to the crime's notoriety. But for the most part, the former clerk resided inside the Gordon unit. Held inside the isolation wing of Melbourne's maximum security women's facility, Dame Phyllis Frost Centre, she is prevented from interacting with the wider prison population. At age 50, and if sentenced as a triple murderer, she was expected to remain in these restrictive conditions for decades to come, with little possibility of being moved to a less controlled unit due to the risk to her safety. Her courtyard, measuring just 1.5 metres by 1.5 metres, is the only outdoor space she has at the moment, and it links to the door at the back of the cell. Through this mesh barrier, she could, in theory, speak to her neighbour, Mumina Shoma, the Bangladeshi student radicalised by ISIS. Shoma received a 42-year sentence at the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre for murder and later attempted to kill a fellow inmate with gardening shears. That attack on Canadian prisoner Kaylee Mitz left her permanently housed in isolation. That's, of course, Shoma I'm speaking of there. Patterson's barrister, Colin Mandy SC, raised concerns about the practicality of his client being so close to Shoma. He noted that the only possible interaction his client could have was with this prisoner, someone held in isolation for terrorism offences. Corrections Victoria confirmed that both women could communicate through the meshed fence, though Mandy told the court Patterson had never spoken to Shoma during her 14 months in segregation. The hearing also highlighted how frequent lockdowns at the maximum security facility in Ravenhall, caused largely by staff shortages, further reduced time out of cells. Mr. Mandy suggested Patterson's notoriety would likely keep her confined in isolation for much of the sentence, exposing her to prolonged loneliness and limited freedoms. Oh, well. He also blamed the media. Sorry, Erin. It's tough, isn't it? He argued this should be weighed when Christopher Beale, but the prosecution argued this would reduce over time, as in the case of Port Arthur killer Martin Bryant. Accounts from former inmates also paint a picture of Patterson struggling. One ex-prisoner told news.com.au that Patterson's cell was a mess, saying she spent hours crocheting, rarely smiled. Well, I think that's a real life thing. I haven't met her in real life, but I know a lot about her, and argued with others for attention. They labelled her narcissistic and unfriendly. Nevertheless, Patterson does have some comforts. She has a TV. Obviously, she's got the wool for her crochet, a computer, bedding, magazines, a hair straightener. Now, wouldn't that be a potential weapon? I don't know, maybe it's bolted to the wall. And a fan as well. Because we heard recently that she was complaining about the temperature during summer, so they gave her a fan. While she adjusts to this environment, her victims' families continue to endure the devastation that has been left in her wake. Impact statements read in the court yesterday included words from her estranged husband, Simon Patterson, who said their children now live in a, quote, broken home where everyone knows their mother murdered their grandparents. I did an episode on this yesterday if you want to catch up on that as well. I will be aware for the next 30 years, should I live that long, that my parents could still be alive had Erin not chosen to murder them, his statement read. The lunch's sole survivor was also speaking in court yesterday, and he told us about the impact of the deadly lunch at the murderer's home in July 2023. With a quivering voice, he labelled the killer's crimes as callous and calculated, disregard for my life and those I love. What foolishness thinks murder a solution to their problems, he said. The Corumburra Baptist Church pastor said he would offer the murderer forgiveness for the crimes done to me. In regard to the many harms done to me, I make an offer of forgiveness to Erin, he said. That's a pretty big thing. I don't know if I could do that, but obviously he extended her some grace. Quote, I have no power or responsibility to forgive harm done to others. In regard to the murder of Heather, Don and Gail, I'm compelled to seek justice. Now, Justice Christopher Beale said he would sentence her on September 8. Quote, I would like to say we would have that sentence in Morwell, but there are maintenance issues that mean I can't be confident that it will be available on September 8, he said. The court heard the sentence would be scheduled at the Supreme Court in Melbourne instead. So that's all I have for you for this episode. I'm sure I've got a notebook full of things, so I'll be back. You can guarantee that. Thank you so much for listening, and especially to those listeners who helped me get here to Melbourne. It's greatly appreciated. I don't think I can explain how much. Also, if you want to sign up for my free newsletter, it's at mushroommurdertrial.com. Just go there and you can sign up, and it's fabulous. So have a great day. Thank you, everyone. I am leaving Melbourne today, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.